invite you to take your hands flat out in front of you and then watch how I'm going to place them really, really right there at the top of my trapezius muscles. Like it's right here at the base of my neck. I'm really, really up here. And so once again, this is so high up at the top of your lungs that the movement will be occurring up here only once you've filled up the lower part of the lungs, the middle part of the lungs. So it will barely be perceptible, but there is breath occurring up here. When we feel a lot of movement up here, and we're doing a lot of clavicular breathing, it can make us a little tense and anxious, because this is how we get a lot of blood flow to the brain quickly. Upper chest breathing. It has its purpose. You cannot demonize any single one of the breaths, diaphragmatic, mid-chest, or clavicular. We get what we need in our upper chest breathing, but it's not very comfortable. Now I invite you to take your hands down, and having identified these 3 different sections of your breathing, I'm going to ask if you can attempt to direct your attention and the beginning of your breath to your belly, which we're going to call section 1. And then your direction of breath will start down there, and then it will continue to 2, mid-chest breathing, and then to 3, clavicular. Your exhalation will likewise start at what we're going to call 3, belly, 2, thoracic, 3, upper chest, clavicular. If I were to exaggerate this for you visually, what this would look like was I exhale completely, inhaling to 3, 2, 1. So it's an exaggerated version for you. Exhaling 3, 2, 1. Repeat. Now we are manipulating and controlling the breath with this movement to be entirely clear. So it is an effort, concerted work. So you might get tired, and keep that in mind and stop. So I'm going to ask if you follow my pattern, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1 for the exhale. However, the purpose of this exercise is that you can go off with the knowledge of, I seem to be more of a belly breather. I'm going to draw more attention to my mid-chest breathing when I work. Or you might be a classic upper chest breather, and then you're like, ooh, I'm going to try and direct attention to my belly breathing and my mid-chest breathing. As I explained earlier, in myself, I have a lot of tightness in the upper chest from the way I'm anatomically designed. And I don't have a lot of movement in the rib cage, but I have movement down here. I hold a huge amount of tension here. I have a shortened pec. I have a lot of tension in my transverse thoracis. We have a muscle that goes like this called our transverse thoracis. So you might find a similar thing, because This is all what I got from being a desk worker for many years, and since most of us are phone workers and desk workers all day long, you might find that mid-chest breathing is a bit restricted for you as well. But we are all unique. And whatever your history of shoulder injuries, tightness, neck tension, these will all contribute to how you breathe in different areas than I do. So we'll just practice this very briefly again for a few seconds, but I invite you to practice on your own. It is only through direct felt experience that any intellectual thought construct becomes manifest within us. So, returning to inhaling at the nose and directing the breath down as evenly as possible to the belly on the inhalation. Filling up finally at the very end of our inhalation, the tips of our lungs. And seeing if I can invite a pause full before I initiate my exhalation from my belly. And that means from the front, from the sides, and the back, to then moving on to finish the exhale, the front, the sides, and the back of my mid-chest. And then finally clearing out the last little bit of air at the top. That's a very, very step thought out way through your breath. That's why we're really, really taking time here with this one. So let's do another side just to reset. And let the breath come in at the nose. And so I'll begin the count, drawing attention to each section as we inhale. So exhale fully, and then inhale to 3, 2, 1. Pause. Exhale. 3, 2, 1. Pause. Inhale. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 3, 2, 1. Pause. Let it initiate. Inhale. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 3, 2, 1. And come to rest and normal breath. There should not be any tension or quick inhales. If there is, that's just a sign that you need to give yourself a bit more time and not rush. When we are learning breaths like this that are altering our breathing consciously in a controlled way, because we are focusing on the muscles to then notice that we might, for example, again, my case, not be breathing in the mid-chest. When I am passing through the inhalation at the mid-chest, it takes a bit more concerted effort. And so it's very different from just witnessing, because I am altering the breath with this. And that's why we need to stay very vigilant to how that then creates emotion or tension as I'm making an effort to breathe in my middle chest, for example. Thoracic breathing can really, if I'm really thinking about this one too hard and I feel it's not happening for me and there's tightness and I'm getting wrapped up in it, it can start an anxious situation for me. And so I ask you to just be aware of that. And if that occurs for you, as I have explained it might, to witness it, know it, and back away from it. Very often when we're learning something like this, we think that we're doing it wrong, right? If there's tension, we're like, I must be doing it wrong. I have an opera singer friend in the UK, and he says, most people just don't know how to breathe. Singers, we breathe for a living. And he says, if you ask most people, you say to most people, take a deep breath. He says, the first thing he sees people do, and he says, take a deep breath, is they do this. So bringing awareness to the different areas where we should have some movement, ideally, hopefully. Not all of us do, because it's really hard. The way we move every day, like just driving, just like anyone who drives or uses a phone. This is a motion of this with your hands. This to the computer. Anyone who's doing these motions, we're creating constriction tension that will affect our breath, which is why I, again, mentioned that a physical warm-up is a very good thing to do before any of these exercises. Bringing warmth to the area with heating pads is another good thing to do, stretching out before you do this. So I encourage you, again, 3-part breathing, to practice this, and in moments of relaxation to explore where and how you breathe. How does your body breathe you, and how do your emotions breathe you? That's a big one, because they both will influence the other. So, belly breathing, front, sides, back, mid-chest, front, sides, back. Just for awareness, it probably won't help too much to focus on here. So again, be very gentle when exploring clavicular breath. For me, I can make an entire exercise out of mid-chest breathing just like this. This can just be Catherine checking in with herself right here. Okay, we're just going to feel side movement. So in the most minute 30 seconds that you might have to yourself somewhere to explore, you might just go, all right, Sam, all right, Sue, whatever your name is, we're going to explore this right now. We're going to explore the front and the sides of the lower belly for a few minutes. Have fun with it. Good luck. Namaste. May you breathe well and deep.